The scream of Heavenly Void Peak did not sound like stone. It sounded like a living thing discovering that its bones belonged to someone else. Cracks tore through the courtyard in every direction. The stone table split. The remaining game pieces scattered and burst into dust before touching the ground. Along the terraces below, pavilions leaned as their foundations twisted. Black pines ripped their roots from the cliffs and hung suspended in the air, needles trembling, trapped between Lin Fan's authority and the thing rising from beneath his feet. The black chain remained silent. That silence made it worse. Red chains screamed when they broke. Karmic chains hissed, cursed, pleaded, remembered. The black chain did none of that. It passed through Lin Fan's body without weight and held him with a law he did not recognize. Lin Fan lowered his gaze to it. The chain pierced him from below, entering through the sole of his foot and rising through his spine into the center of his soul. It did not damage the flesh. It bypassed flesh entirely. His meridians remained whole. His bones remained unbroken. His heart continued its slow, steady beat. Yet when he called his sovereign chi, a portion of it vanished. Not suppressed. Not sealed. Claimed. The distinction mattered. Suppression could be broken by force. Sealing could be reversed by understanding. A claim had to be traced to its owner, and Lin Fan did not yet see the owner. He lifted his right hand. The mountain answered more slowly this time. Deep under Heavenly Void Peak, array veins strained toward him. Some snapped before reaching his command. Some reached him and were swallowed by the black chain. A few survived long enough to ignite. Lin Fan used those few. Violet light erupted from the western ridge. The old weather array, half-rotten and forgotten by everyone except him, tore open the stormless sky. Blue lightning descended without thunder, striking the courtyard in 7 places. Each strike hit a buried moonlight fragment Suwon had placed. The fragments cracked. Suwon gasped and fell to one knee. Blood ran from her wrist, her palm, and the corner of her mouth. The pale ring she had shattered earlier tried to reform around her arm, but 3 missing fragments left gaps in the circle. Xianxia stepped toward her. "Do not," she said. Her voice was weak, but the command stopped him. Lin Fan watched that exchange and understood another layer. Suwon still intended to protect Xianxia. Xianxia still believed he was the one leading. Poor arrangement. The black chain tightened around Lin Fan's soul. Pain arrived. It was clean, direct, and deep enough that the world flashed white for one breath. The chain did not tear his soul outward. It pressed inward, forcing his consciousness to narrow. The red wound in the sky sensed the opening and dropped more chains. Thousands became tens of thousands. The courtyard vanished. Lin Fan stood inside a storm of judgment. Chains struck his shoulders, wrists, throat, ribs, knees. Some wrapped around his arms. Some pierced his robe and entered the space between flesh and spirit. Names burned along their links, each one belonging to someone he had killed, ruined, suppressed, or outlived. He knew many of them. He had forgotten more. A chain bearing the name of a sword saint wrapped around his left wrist. Lin Fan flexed his fingers, and the chain shattered. A chain bearing the resentment of an entire clan coiled around his chest. He inhaled once, and sovereign chi crushed it into sparks. A chain formed from the dying oath of a demon emperor tried to bite into his throat. He turned his head and looked at it. The oath burned away. But every broken chain fed the circles beneath him. The red formation grew brighter. The black chain drank what the red could not. Lin Fan's robe began to tear. Not much. A thin cut at the shoulder. Another across the sleeve. Gold thread snapped and released the sealed killing intents woven inside. Normally, each thread would become a weapon capable of slaughtering a lesser immortal. Tonight, the released killing intents surged outward, struck the red storm, and were immediately judged as part of Lin Fan's violence. The formation swallowed them. Xianxia saw the torn sleeve. His eyes widened with something close to disbelief. Lin Fan had been wounded in front of him before. In battle against old monsters, during heavenly tribulations, inside ancient ruins where the rules of the world bent strangely. But those wounds had always seemed like delays. They never made Lin Fan appear reachable. This cut did. Hope was an ugly thing on Qianmo's face. Lin Fan disliked it. He raised 2 fingers toward the disciple. Qianmo reacted instantly, crossing his sword before his chest. Too slow. A strand of violet light shot through the chainstorm and struck the black sword. The blade rang. Qianmo's arms exploded with blood from wrist to shoulder. He was flung backward, smashing through a broken railing and into the stone steps below. The impact cracked 3 names from the stairway. Red smoke surged up around him, trying to protect a necessary component of the formation. Lin Fan bent his fingers. The red smoke froze. Qianmo looked up through blood-matted hair. For a heartbeat, all rebellion vanished from his eyes. He was the child on the battlefield again. Lin Fan could have killed him then. The path was there. Narrow, expensive, but there. A direct soul strike through the disciple seal's remnants before the heavenly slaughter formation adapted. It would cost Lin Fan a portion of his left meridian C and likely allow the black chain to root deeper. But Qianmo would die. Lin Fan measured the exchange. Not worth it. Not yet. Qianmo's death would satisfy nothing useful while the hidden hand remained unseen. He shifted the strike instead. Violet light carved across Qianmo's chest, cutting through robe, flesh, and 3 protective talismans hidden beneath. The wound stopped 1 inch before the heart. Qianmo screamed. Suwan's expression broke. Qianmo. She moved before thought could stop her. That was the weakness she had never cured. Her reason could choose betrayal. Her hands still moved for the wounded. Lin Fan turned his fingers toward her. The pale light around Suwan flared. She knew what was coming. She had seen Lin Fan punish interruption 1,000 times. Her eyes widened, but she did not retreat. Instead, she placed herself between Lin Fan's raised hand and Qianmo's fallen body. "You still protect him," Lin Fan said. The chainstorm muffled the words, but she heard them. "I protect what can still become something other than you." Lin Fan's fingers paused. Not from sentiment. From calculation. The black chain shifted when Suwan spoke. A ripple passed through it, so subtle that Qianmo missed it, so subtle that perhaps Suwan herself missed it. But Lin Fan felt the claim tighten in response to the contrast she offered. Her words carried judgment, and judgment strengthened the red formation, but the black chain fed on something deeper. Difference. Possibility. It reacted when a path diverged. The hidden hand was not merely killing him. It was measuring alternatives. Lin Fan almost laughed again. The world was larger than he had allowed for. Good. He brought his hand down. The strike did not hit Suwan. It struck the moonlight fragments embedded around the courtyard. 4 shattered at once. Suwan's protective aura collapsed. She staggered as if stabbed through both lungs. Blood spilled from her lips and scattered across the broken floor. Qianmo struggled to rise behind her, face pale with panic and fury. "Stop." Lin Fan looked at him. Qianmo froze. "You wanted to kill me," Lin Fan said. "Do not complain when the knife cuts both ways." The red wound in the sky widened. The formation did not allow him more time. A beam of blood-colored light descended from above, not as a chain, but as a pillar. It struck the center of the courtyard and spread into a massive circular seal beneath Lin Fan's feet. Inside the seal appeared countless scenes. Every life he had ended. Every sect he had erased. Every oath he had broken because keeping it no longer served him. Every disciple who had died in training under his command. Every ally sacrificed at the most efficient moment. The formation did not accuse with words. It displayed facts. Lin Fan looked down at them. He saw screams, fires, kneeling figures, severed heads, collapsing palaces, Suwan's back turned away from a field of corpses, Ch04 is a boy vomiting after his first murder while Lin Fan waited for him to finish. The seal asked for shame. Lin Fan gave it none. Is that all? He asked. The scenes trembled. Ch04 stared at him through blood-blurred eyes. Even Ch04's anger faltered. Lin Fan's voice remained steady. I remember every decision that mattered. The rest were dust. The formation answered with force. The circular seal rose from the ground and wrapped around him like a cage. Red bars formed from karmic debt, each one thick as an ancient tree. They locked around his body and soul at once. Lin Fan's shoulders sank by half an inch. The black chain tightened again. This time, his right hand trembled. Only once. Ch04 saw it. Ch04 saw it. Both of them went still. Lin Fan lowered his gaze to his hand. The tremor stopped. He disliked that more than the pain. Pain was information. Tremor was leakage. He closed his fist and drove it into the red cage. The first bar shattered. The second bent. The third cracked and screamed with the voices of a dead kingdom. The backlash tore through the courtyard. Ch04 and Ch04 were thrown apart. The remaining lanterns exploded. The throne hall behind Lin Fan collapsed inward, its obsidian dais splitting down the center. Above the mountain, the clouds rolled away, revealing a sky filled with red script. Lin Fan struck again. The cage broke open. For an instant, he was free of the red formation. He stepped toward the black circle. Not away. Toward. Ch04 coughed blood, unable to understand. Ch04 tried to raise her head. Lin Fan ignored them both. The red formation was dangerous, but understandable. The black chain was the true threat. If he could seize its source, even for a breath, he could reverse the night. His foot entered the black circle. The world vanished from his senses. For less than a heartbeat, Lin Fan saw nothing around him. No mountain. No sky. No enemies. Only a vast darkness and, far within it, something looking back without eyes. It did not hate him. It did not fear him. It did not admire him. It observed. Then the darkness closed. Lin Fan returned to the courtyard as the red cage reformed behind him. Blood touched his lips. Ch04 saw it and stopped breathing. Ch04's face became ash-white. Lin Fan lifted a finger and wiped the blood away. He looked at the red stain on his fingertip for a moment. It had been a long time since his own blood had appeared so easily. So that is the shape, he murmured. The black chain had taken root in the moment of contact. It now ran through his soul like a nail through a shadow. Breaking it by force would tear away part of himself. Leaving it meant every technique, every breath of sovereign chi, every attempt to control the mountain would feed something beyond the formation. The trap had become fatal. Not immediately. But inevitably. Lin Fan accepted the conclusion without granting it authority over his mind. Fatal did not mean finished. Fatal meant the cost of reversal had exceeded available resources under ordinary methods. There were always other categories: forbidden methods, asymmetrical trades, external variables, and damage transferred forward in time. Most cultivators, upon realizing death was inevitable, wasted the last clean breaths of thought on denial or grief. Lin Fan had killed too many such people to imitate them. He began listing what remained. Right meridian C, partially usable. Left meridian C, unstable. Sovereign robe, compromised but not exhausted. Mountain authority, contested. Formation knowledge, sufficient for disruption, insufficient for total reversal while black chain remained rooted. Ch04, life component. Ch04, grief bridge. Unknown observer, active through chain, response patterns incomplete. The final item mattered most. If he could not escape the blade, he could still cut the hand that held the handle. Lin Fan looked toward Ch04 and Ch04. Ch04 was half kneeling, sword driven into the stone to support himself. His chest wound smoked. His eyes held triumph and terror in equal measure. Suwan was on one knee, one hand pressed to the ground, white robe soaked red at the sleeve and collar. She looked at Lin Fan's blood and did not smile. Her expression held horror instead. Because she understood. This was no longer only their betrayal. Something else had entered the room. The heavenly slaughter formation gathered itself overhead. The red script in the sky folded inward, line by line, forming a single enormous blade. It was not made of metal. It was made of accusation, sacrifice, and the collective will of everyone who had contributed to this night. The blade pointed at Lin Fan. The black chain held him in place. Suwan whispered, "Lin Fan." He glanced at her. For a moment, she looked as if she wanted to say something that belonged to years long dead. Regret, perhaps. Warning. Apology. None of it mattered enough to cross the distance between them. Lin Fan turned his eyes back to the sky. The blade descended. He raised his hand. Sovereign Qi erupted from him in a storm that shook every realm connected to his name. The broken mountain blazed violet. The red cage fractured. The clouds beneath the peak evaporated. Far away, hidden contributors to the formation screamed as their offerings were pulled backward through their own blood. For one breath, Lin Fan held the execution blade above his palm. The world seemed to stop. Then the black chain pulled. His sovereign Qi vanished into the unseen depth. The blade fell. It pierced his palm, crossed his arm, entered his shoulder, and drove through his chest into the soul behind his heart. The impact silenced heavenly void peak. Shin Mo's sword slipped from his hand. Suwan covered her mouth, but blood still ran between her fingers. Lin Fan stood with the execution blade through his body, robe torn, hair loosened, eyes darker than the wound in the sky. He did not fall. He looked down at the blade inside him. Then he looked at the two people who had brought it there. "You should have aimed better," he said.